Welcome to the Education Over Debt podcast. I'm Sheena Hogue, and I'm so glad you joined. This is a place where I give practical financial tips that anyone can understand and you can begin to implement now. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and turn your notifications on so that you are aware of any new content that we drop. Listen to us anywhere you listen to your podcast, and on Spotify, you can become a monthly subscriber for as little as 99 cents per month. Today, we will be talking with one of our 2022 scholarship recipients in regards to her college transition as she begins to prepare to college and what are some of her goals and expectations. Please help me welcome to the show, Adora. Hi, Adora. How are you doing today?
Hi, good. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for joining me to do this podcast. I'm so excited to speak with you. So let's just get into it. How did you hear about the scholarship?
I had heard it from one of my advisors from Upward Bound.
Okay, so you've been at Overbound. You've been at Overbound, what, 2 years, or how long have you been at Overbound?
The entirety of high school since freshman year, so 3, 4 years.
Okay, all right. And have you guys been able to do the college tours and stay on the college campus, or not really because of 2020?
Freshman year during the summer, I was able to do college tours and all of that. I even stayed at UNCC for weeks, for a couple weeks, but because of COVID, I wasn't able to do anything after that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so what college are you planning to go to in the fall?
I'm going to NC State.
Okay, and what made you decide to go to NC State?
Well, I saw I was just applying to a bunch of colleges in my state because of the lower tuition, and I just decided that I was just like whatever one that I pick, just whatever program I like the most, and I got accepted to the exploratory studies program, so I just went there.
Okay, and share a little bit more about exploratory studies. What exactly is that for those who don't know?
Okay, so based on my knowledge, it is basically a 2-year program. Basically, you can leave it and go to a decided major, but basically you can explore what you want to do. Like you can explore different majors or different fields, and I thought that would help me because I'm really indecisive about what I want to do. So I thought that would help me the most.
Okay, and what fields are you thinking about exploring?
Definitely history. I really, really love history. Um, I'm kind of teetering on biology, microbiology, because I do find it interesting, or pathology, but definitely history right now.
Okay, and so with history and possibly biology, what do you think you're gonna do once you leave college?
A historian for
Okay.
history, or I would like to work in a museum, like a museum curator. For biology, I wanted to major in that and maybe go back to school and for med school and be a pathologist or get my PhD for that because
Okay.
I always found that really interesting.
Okay, so what got you excited about pathology? That's like understanding the history of how your body and everything works and maybe your genetics and things?
But maybe being interested in the pathology, uh, I grew up watching a lot of NCIS and forensic files and all of that, and that made me really interested because pathology is in that field. So I found that really interesting for me.
Have you been able to take any courses in regards to that in high school in a STEM program or anything like that?
I did take several biology courses. I did take biology my freshman year, and then I took what is it called? Biomedical science, which I found really interesting in my junior year.
Okay. Now let me ask you, has Overbound incorporated any kind of STEM activities with its program at all as far as when you guys take the classes over the summertime? Or not really?
We had science classes, but I had taken physics.
Okay. Okay. And so you kind of looking into the whole history. Have you did your own like DNA ancestry, anything like that, or has your family did any of that?
No.
You haven't? Are you interested in doing something like that?
Uh, I am, but I'm pretty sure what I am on both sides of my family. I'm not really going to be too shocked by it, most likely. So I'm
Okay. Okay, so you're not trying to. I just asked because you're talking about being a historian and studying pathology. Maybe you wanted to see like how far back your family tree goes and like if there are any, major things that may have happened. Like for example, I plan on doing mine probably this year in December. I'm gonna do the African ancestry thing, and already just looking at some of the death certificates, I realized that one of my great grandfathers, it said on his death certificate, like his mom was a Negro and she was a slave, like it already quoted some of that out, but it didn't say that for the man. So I don't know if that means anything, like if they may have been biracial, like why did it point out that the mom was a slave, but not the father was a slave, stuff like that. And that was, one of those very old, like 1886 death certificates. So I don't know why they didn't point that out. So I was just interested, like, have you ever thought about exploring it to see like how far back it goes? So we'll see. But that's good to know. So since you're thinking about that in your future, what are your when it comes to money, what do you feel like you do well, and what do you feel like you want to learn more about?
I'm pretty good at being frugal. Like I really don't like to spend money on things, so I'm not worried about me being like super like spending crazy when I leave my house. But I'm definitely worried about like trying to like invest money. I've always been kind of interested in that, like stock markets. I'm really bad at understanding it, but I thought it would be interesting. And my financial goals would probably be like trying to just be able to sustain myself and my cat. I have a cat, and be able to like take care of her and take care of myself, and do what I want to do during college without having to constantly worry about tuition.
Okay. And you are planning to stay on campus, right?
Yeah, for my first year, I am staying on campus.
Okay. And so in regards to your current goals is just more so maybe learning about investing, being able to take care of your cat. Have you thought about career in regards to your money, how that would look, or are you trying to live a certain lifestyle, or have you even thought about anything like that?
So for my like for certain lifestyle, I would just like to be well enough where I'll be able to not worry about worry about bills, but I'm not concerned about being like super rich or anything like that.
Okay, so just enough so that you can comfortably pay your bills on time.
Yeah.
Okay. And in Overbound, did you guys do anything with money in regards to credit cards or like learning more about that? Because they used to give us a stipend. So do you have anything? Did they give you guys a stipend, or did they not do it because of 2020, or how did that work?
We did get stipends depending on like what we did. So if we did like certain activities or whatever, we would get like $10, $20, something like that, which really helps sometimes.
Okay. Were you also in the midst with the 2020 of like working a full-time job and trying to go to school, or working like did you work during the 2020, like when everybody was kind of shut in?
During 2020, I didn't work. 2021, I did work two jobs.
You did? Okay.
I worked two jobs until like early-ish of senior year, and then I quit one of them. I could just continue being a cashier.
Okay. And what made you decide to still go to college even though like 2020 happened? Some people were thinking that they were not, they lost interest in college. Did you
Yeah.
ever think you lost interest in college?
Um, no. I didn't think I lost interest in college. I've always been pretty interested in it as like I'm a first generation student. So
Okay.
I always thought it would be like, interesting to, explore and like live a college like life and be like, be one of those like teenagers like growing up in like a different place. Like I just thought it was cool.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. I wasn't Outward too, and at the time, I didn't realize how much it like was valuable or what have you until like I got a little older. But yeah, I was always interested in going to college and always interested in. For me, college was more about just having options in my career. I wanted to be able to switch careers or switch jobs and not have to be worried about one person telling me I couldn't go somewhere because I didn't have a degree. So that was really big for me. But also, I later learned the importance of like relationships when I went to college, and some of the friends I met in college, as well as some of my professors or faculty members that kind of helped me be. They taught me some things, right? They helped me be self sufficient and grow up a little bit more. So they helped me out, and so I still, of course, keep in touch with Mr. Hobbs now, which is why you guys know about the scholarship because I came back home and kind of talked with him about, since he's still with Upward Bound in some capacity, try to work with him. So I'm glad that you applied to it, and I'm glad that Upward Bound is still like doing the work in the community. And hopefully, some of your friends that you met in Upward Bound, you can stay friends with them, for the rest of your life or what have you. But definitely, when you go to college, you'll be able to meet a lot of great people. I'm sure that can help you in your career as well as like becoming that adult that you want to be. So outside of investing, do you have any questions, or do you have any concerns in regards to credit or debt or anything like that? You mentioned you didn't want to take a lot of student loan debt out, I guess, because you're going to an in-state school.
Mm.
What are your fears, or what horror stories have you heard about that, or what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I would really prefer not to take out a whole lot of student loans, but I probably will have to. But I'm gonna try to work during the entirety of college, so maybe I'll be able to pay a little bit off before I get out. But I'm more concerned about um, not being like so deeply in debt when I leave, to the point where if I like the job I want won't be able to sustain me.
Okay.
Even if it was like a passion job, I want to be able to work like cuz I enjoy it, not because it makes good money. It would help if it made good money, but
Yeah.
I want to do something I like.
Okay. Okay. And at NC State, do you guys have to? Can you bring a car the first year, or will you be, or you can't bring a car?
You can bring your car, but it's gonna be you have to do a lottery system, and then it also costs like $400 a semester.
Okay.
I just don't have like the funds for that, and my mom doesn't want me to bring my car anyway.
Okay. And then, um, I guess with that, so have you ever stayed away from home for a long sense of time, or not really?
Yeah, I just got back from a 3-week trip abroad.
Oh, okay. Where did you go?
I went to Europe. I went to Italy, Holland, Scotland, and England.
Okay. Did you go with your family or kind of by yourself, or how did you get into that travel abroad
I
program?
went with my boyfriend.
Oh, with your boyfriend. Okay. And so y'all just booked the flight to go to those what, 4 or 5 countries and kind of tour?
Yeah, yeah, his family and a couple of those countries. So we stayed with them, and then we went off to like Italy and Holland.
Okay. Okay. So how was that a trip? Like, did you meet any new people? What'd you learn?
It was my first time being by myself without my parents for that long of a time. Before that, the longest I've been without them was like a week.
Okay.
So it was definitely new. I've never been on a plane that much in my life, or like a train. It was my first time being on like the Eurostar.
Hmm.
So that was very different. It just like kind of showed me like I can be by myself, because I was kind of worried before that. Like I was like, I don't know if I can be by myself, because I've always had my parents support with me, but now I didn't have them with me. I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. I
Hmm.
didn't meet anybody except his family, who were really nice.
Did you
Um,
guys go out and walk around the city and kind of do stuff like on your own?
yeah, yeah, we walked around in Italy and France and Holland,
What do you
and
think about the culture compared to the U.S.?
it's not as drastic as I thought it was. Like I've never been over there. I've never left the country before this, so I was like preparing for something very different. It's not as different as I thought, but I do see like the differences between certain things, um, like just like the way people like act during the street or whatever. Because the only big city I've really been to besides where I live is New York.
Mhm.
So I was kind of just comparing everything to New York, and it's different, but it's like not too drastic to where it was like a culture shock.
Right. And did you see in Holland they do the bikes? Did you see the bike garages and how they are? To me, they seem a lot healthier. Did that come off to you, like in certain countries, like they're riding their bikes, they have all the organic foods, that the chicken tastes pure. I don't know if you taste the food, but
Yeah.
did you notice like the difference in like the food, and I guess the people, like they were all slim for the most part, like.
uh, the only thing I really noticed, like health wise, was the dietary descriptions on
Mhm.
things. They have it color coded. like if it's like a certain range of like healthy or not. And I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I love reading the little size of packages because I was just like, oh, it's like this much. Like it tells me. Like I don't understand it when it's on American ones unless I read it really hard. But I thought that
Right.
was really cool. They are very healthy. Like with the I went to Amsterdam and they
Mm-hmm.
biked everywhere, and especially in Paris too. They also biked everywhere.
Yeah.
The other places they had the little scooters like they have in most of the cities here, the little lime scooters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. I was always interested in how do they find their bikes in the bike garages? Like when they go back to like how do they find their bike? I don't know how they do it, but there's so many bikes. It was so many bikes in the garages when I went there. So and then they had like the 4 lanes for the bikes versus it seemed like it catered more to pedestrians than cars, if that makes sense. I was in Amsterdam as well. Okay. And then as far as the culture, the people, did you learn like you notice how they all speak like 4 languages? What did you think about that?
I thought it was really cool. I wish we could like have more focus on different languages in American schools because I feel like that would be able to help people like understand each other a lot more. Um, I thought the languages, like, I mean, everybody understood English or was like understood enough English to where I could communicate because I don't know
Mm-hmm.
any Dutch at all. Um, but it was really like nice to like see people communicating like so many different languages just walking on the street. It was really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Also, like the news, how most people was aware of the history of that country. If you got into an Uber, or the driver was talking about it, but everybody was aware of like the history of that country, what was going on globally versus what was just going on in their country. Like a lot of even in the mall, they had like BBC playing and all that kind of stuff. So that was very interesting to me just to see how culturally aware they are of their history as well as globally in regards to other countries and what they're doing. And so I'm always excited to like travel and see and learn new experiences. So I'm glad that you were able to do that and you got to do it before school started. So that's cool. And I don't know, the euro is down. I think it's almost at $1 now. It's at parity. Where did you have any experiences with the whole money thing? Was that new to you as far as like this international exchange rate when you buy something and then the taking cash out, or how was the money for you?
Okay, so I was very confused with the money at first because like I saw pound coins for the first time. I've
Mm-hmm.
never seen them, and I was very confused because they're like gold and white and like gold and silver, and I was like, "What is this?" And I like the money. The money is very pretty. Um, but my boyfriend handled most of like the money stuff.
Okay.
So like when I did like buy things, I was just more so confused on like what means what. I mean, it said like 10, 20, so like it was like cash. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, it wasn't hard to understand, but I was a bit confused because I didn't want to give them something wrong, especially with the coins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with the conversion rates, when we were there, it was a bit higher, so the dollar was a little bit less. I did learn about how you could get tax like back, like tax money back from like the little shops um,
Mm-hmm.
when you bought something. I learned that. I thought that was cool.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing with me today. And again, we will stay in contact. I'll probably be emailing you guys like quarterly to kind of keep in touch with you, see how everything's going at school, and hopefully encourage you on your journey. Um, and I guess that's all I have for you today. So thank you again for joining me on the podcast, and I will talk with you soon. So thank you.
Yeah.